Hey, Stuart,
Yes.
there was a thought or a voice or something popped into my head during meditation. It said, "Stop trying to exert your will in the world, just do nothing." And I've been trying to exert my will in the world a lot, but I don't know how to just do
Well,
nothing.
Ben,
Be
if you take that same will and you use it to build an inner life, what I keep talking about, that inner life that you will build will enable you to do things in the world without having to assert your will in the world. But if you build that kind of inner life that I talk about, develop the chakra system, get chi, get balance, quiet mind, open heart, you will have the strength inside you to live a very successful life without having to use your will to kick other people in the teeth or whatever. So, I mean, this is a very important thing. It's the internalization of your will that builds a system inside that enables you to do this. And then you attract into your life whatever karma you have to work out. If it's success and money and all kinds of marriage and a house in the country or whatever it is, you will attract it, and you'll have the energy, the strength to be able to do all of these karmic things without ever allowing them to interfere with your spiritual practice. So, I mean, look, I had the same problem when I was younger, and it took me quite a while you know, to realize that I did not need to use my will in the world. I needed to use my will to overcome the encumbrances in me. The problems that existed inside me, to transform them into Shakti, into Chi, into energy, build my inner life. And then, it just attracts, and you have the strength to do it without creating a nightmare with yourself and other people. And when you use your will to make your way through the world, you create enormous problems because you have to step over people and do a lot of crazy things that are not necessary if you internalize your will and build your inner life. And of course, the hard part about this is the exact opposite of everything we're taught from the time we're born. You know, make your way through life. Don't, all this stuff that we're taught. And this is the exact opposite.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be successful. Everybody should have success. Everybody should have money. Everybody should have healthy relationships, marriages, et cetera, et cetera. This part of living, and it makes life more wonderful. What I'm saying is build an inner life. You will attract what you are supposed to attract, and it won't, ever interfere with your spiritual practice. It'll just be more steps on a ladder that leads to a state of enlightenment. And you could have, I mean, Rudy always said it's to have and not be, and not let what you have you. That's the problem. People make money and they're trapped by money. Other people are afraid of money and they're trapped by fear. People have relationships, they become trapped by the relationship. Other people have relationships, and the relationship does nothing but nurture them and help them to grow. It depends upon one's consciousness and how evolved one is inside themselves. I, I want to move from this apartment here, and when you go and look at what real estate is cost today, it's so ridiculous. So he said, "Okay, Stuart, you got to make a lot of money." So I'm starting to build a business, not the way I used to work at it, but just to generate some capital that can help me do that. It comes, and it never interferes with your spiritual practice, and it helps you overcome fear. I mean, Rudy did that for me. I've told that story 150 million times, where he told me I wasn't working hard enough, buy that building. And I laughed. I said, "Well, I got $600 and anyone could do it with money." And a month later, I bought the building, which was like a miracle that happened. And the best thing it did, it overcame my fear of success, of money, of things of that nature. Why did I build that? Does anyone else have a question they would like to?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Sink.
Yes, Bob.
It sounds as if our inner work and our outer work in the world, all of it is karmic. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, it's all karmic. I mean, everyone who is sitting in this class is karmically at a point in their life where they have to sit in this class. Everything is karma, and it depends on what we are ready to do with our energy and what we are ready to do with our lives, and that also becomes our karma. And then do we act? Do we act in the world in a way where we can attract situations that help us to work out our karma? Everything. My meeting Rudy, I mean, you talk about karma. Spent 9 years looking for him all over the world and found him in my hometown. Literally a 10-minute walk from where I was living. It's karma. I was ready. When I walked into his gallery, I was ready. And I even said to this friend of mine, I don't know what happened there, but I have to go back and meet this man. I think he is a very important person in my life. It's karma. I was ready. I wasn't ready. I knew about Rudy for years. I had a friend who told me about Rudy. I wasn't ready to meet him. And well, but yes, both the inner, the outer, the subjective, the objective, it's all karma. And the whole purpose of being born here is to learn how to get free of karma. You learn how to get free of karma by building a system inside that can open your heart. And you become a happy person, and it frees you of karma. You've accomplished on the earth what we're all born here to do, to learn how to be happy. That's it. Sorry, I have nothing more complicated to teach you all. That's basically what it's all about.
Stuart, can you explain in more detail what you mean by karma?
I can look, every act, everything you do in your, I don't know how more to explain it, Bob. Everything you do, whatever it is you do, is your karma. Being born here at this time in the world is your karma. How you live through this kind of world we live in, and how you manage to use what you learn in this life to open your heart, to find God inside you, to have compassion for human beings, to live that's karma. If you don't do it and you spend your life being angry and upset and full of rage at the world and this terrible world, it's karma. Whatever you do. And the purpose of doing meditation and deep spiritual practice is to build a system inside yourself that can get off that merry-go-round, of karma, of life, of suffering, of pain, of difficulty, of all those encumbrances that people live with every day and never really transform them into joy, into love, into being an open person. All of it's karma. How do I define it? How do you define this? It's just a living principle of every act and every way that human beings function in the world. I mean, what you have for breakfast is karma. What toothpaste you use is karma, Where you go on vacation, it's karma. Everything. Sitting here in this class is karma. But the biggest element of karma is how one uses their life to develop a system inside that connects them to God and enables them to attain a state of spiritual enlightenment. And, I always say, to me, happy people are enlightened people. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. And that's karma. You're free, finished. And it's not that the soul is finished. The soul keeps evolving. It's learned its lesson on the earth and it moves to another plane of consciousness to learn what's to be learned there. It's karma. Does anyone else have a question? It's where we have to live with forgiveness, with compassion for other human beings, even if they're really nuts and crazy and do strange. We have to live with that because it's karma. And in many ways, people, whatever they do, is their only way of touching the world. I mean, look, I spent years teaching in prisons, I met so many inmates and convicts and people like that. And it was karma. It was the only way they're there because it was the only way they knew how to touch the world. When they wound up in this meditation class, and I would tell them, whatever you did in the past doesn't matter. I'm only concerned about what you're doing in the moment now. And you have the opportunity now to build a life for yourself that it doesn't matter what you did in the past. You will be accepted by the world. And it was incredible because nobody ever said anything like that to them. And I had these people busted for everything, sitting there with tears in their eyes. Does anyone else have a question? They would like, great questions tonight. Boy, thank you.
Stuart, my my last question is: it seems as if my karma now is to ask questions. Is that true?
Is what?
That my karma now is to ask questions. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm glad you have that karma, Bob, because I love your questions. And it's not only you learning from them, everybody else is learning from them, including me, you know, including me. So yes, good karma. Ask as many questions as you have. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. There'll be meditation tomorrow evening. You all know that the clocks have changed, so you're all here at the right time, so that's good. So there'll be meditation tomorrow evening at 7:30. Thank you. God bless you all. You all, my teachers that come here to teach me. And in all humility, I couldn't think a better way to spend an hour of my life learning what I learned in these classes. So thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very,
Stuart.
thank you.